Students at Lillian Baylis School in South London are enjoying the summer term, with former captain of Australia, Alan Border, who's called in for a spot of cricket coaching.
Watch the ball!
Catch it! Catch it!
In the exam, do not expect...
But for Year 11, it's the start of 4 days intensive revision in English and maths, before the all-important GCSE exams, in which the school must reach over 30% 5A to Cs with English and maths, or face being academised.
Essay plan. Now, can someone, in 1 or 2 words, just give me what we're going to write about first? Good. So we're going to talk about place. We're going to talk about place in Island Man. And then our second paragraph is going to be about place in Nothing's Changed.
So you wouldn't give an introduction?
We've got 45 minutes to write about 2 poems, so I think we need to get straight to the point.
Head of English Ian Sankey's been keeping close tabs on how his CD borderline group's likely to perform in the exam, and what knock-on effect that will have in determining the school's future.
We reconstituted the groups, and I had a CD borderline group, which was quite large, about 27 students, and about 12 of them really have made excellent progress. There's a few that didn't really make as much progress as I would have liked, and there's about 5 of the group who I think have dropped out, half dropped out. Their attendance became very sporadic. What does it mean, analysis of variety of writers' techniques? We've just talked about it. Rian?
Like, you show when the writer used metaphors and oxymorons and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
You have to identify what...
Right, so you have to identify them.
The schools entered the top Set 1 pupils early for both English and maths.
Well done. What if 5 or 6 of the students who would easily get the GCSE already got it in Year 10? That's out of a large group of nearly 30 students. These poems are art. Here, 1 student roughly represents 1%. So we had about already 25% is in the bag. What does empathy mean? So to get to that sort of top 30s, 40%, we really need about another 15 to 20 students.
Once you start
With the grades of these CD borderline students crucial, Lambeth Education Authority are paying for a high-powered insider to refine their exam technique.
Now, you can either read this on the screen or on your piece of paper. I want you to work out what grade you think this would get in the exam.
AQA Chief Examiner John Neild sets the questions for 500,000 pupils taking the exam board's English GCSE paper.
This would get an E. Put E after it. Now, would somebody like to put their hand up and tell me, if you were this student's teacher, what would you advise him to do to get a higher grade? Paragraphs. It would probably go up a grade if this student had done a plan and had written in paragraphs. Is there anything else you think might be improved?
Make it more exciting.
Sorry?
It's a bit boring.
It's a bit boring, isn't it? It's a bit dull.
Opening that.
The first descriptor for a C is engages the reader's interest. This doesn't. It's a bit dull, isn't it?
Put your things with me, please, and then wait roughly where Nancy is for Miss Leek's instruction.
GCSE Maths, Paper 1.
Those 4 words all begin with the letter C. They're all taken from the A-star descriptors. And they all, you're almost forced, when you write to describe, to address those skills. Now, have a look at the beginning of this piece of writing. This is not done by a student. It's been done by a professional writer, a Woopert. I've never met a Woopert. Imagine if you are a Woopert, you have to be a white. I'll stop that now, it's annoying.
If you're doing the higher, then you must do the higher on the next exam, which, incidentally, is first thing in the morning. If you are late...
It's straightforward, isn't it?
Should be able to.
I mean, the trig stuff, Pythagoras, volumes.
Money
And
questions, percentages. There's nothing on percentages.
Was there not?
No.
I thought I saw one on the foundation, admittedly. It is 50%.
50% of £60. Well,
50% of £60. Some children will struggle.
It's come up year after year.
It's well easy.
As in English, Top Set Maths took their GCSE in Year 10. Maths 2 is looking to maximise its A to C quota, and senior management want all pupils to take it early in future.
They were very good in Year 10, then all of a sudden Year 11, I don't know what happened.
Adolescence happens.
But that's one of the reasons why all the students are going to be entered for their GCSE in the November examination, and then will be entered again in June as their second opportunity. In intervention, there are about 60 kids. 40 of those children are CD borderlines, 20 of them are me hedging my bets. Yeah? And if we do the November exams, it will really allow us to see who are the safe bets, really, and who are the ones we really need to put really intensive support in for.
It's that middle ground, that middle group who are gonna have to sit the higher paper without finishing the syllabus. And there's no way you can finish the syllabus by November, no matter what anyone says. And so they're going to walk into that exam without actually
the knowledge and skills.
If we're looking at meeting our targets of GCSEs plus A to Cs, including English and Maths, that child there who failed to get a C in their examination in November, there's absolutely no way that child can do anything apart from prepare for that exam. And I think it'll get tighter and tighter and tighter.
Again, it'd be interesting that, that people have been using Norwood as they're doing it, so I think we should do it as well. But I'd speak to the teachers, not the head, but the teachers. They said all the kids switched off after November. If they got a C, they felt satisfied with that, even though they should have been aiming for an A.
And the two-level progress is out the window.
And the two-level progress, they know that they're going to drop big time on it.
Yeah, and they had that bottom end that felt so dejected, didn't they? And felt like complete failures as well.
And she said she just can't get them to work at all now because they got such low marks.
Unclassifieds or whatever, and
they just feel that that's it.
But then surely better that they get that in November than they get that in the June and they've got nothing and they leave. I mean, okay,
but it's still this fact that they're walking into an exam without completing the syllabus.
Breathing in when you go to the left. Ooh. Yeah, out to the right. Ooh. And you can close your eyes if you want to.
Set 2 English are taught by advanced skills teacher, Caroline Sharp. She's starting the revision session with a spot of yoga to offset the pressure.
We're getting laughed at. You can get arthritis in your neck from that.
Maura, do this one. It's so lovely.
Yeah, Miss, this one's kind of dangerous. So when we're doing this in an exam hall, everyone's laughing at us.
A consequence of the focus on English A to Cs is that only the elite top set is allowed to study literature. It's a policy that she finds frustrating.
This is so good for your neck.
I'm feeling confident that they've got the basics for GCSE English. My doubts would be whether it's all in their hearts, whether they've really absorbed a sense of literature, a sense of poetry, or a sense of what a play is all about. And that's been a bugbear of mine, that I would have liked to have taught them literature, being a second to top group. Every one of those students I taught this year could have done literature.
Did you have a question, Shanice?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, when Carson says, how did you do it, does he mean physically, how did he kill Lenny?
You tell me.
Okay.
These are the Set 1 pupils who are allowed to study literature, as they took GCSE English in Year 10, achieving the 25% that's already in the bag.
Steinbeck describes Lenny in the way to suggest that, like an animal, he reacts instinctively to the immediate situation. OK, this is a fantastic answer, isn't it? But also forms a pattern of behaviour which can be traced throughout the novel and leads to the death of Curly's wife. A-star stuff, right? Remember, what do the words mean? How do the words work? It's no good just saying what they mean. How do they work? It's the how that gets you the marks.
Since the league table was changed to specify maths and English, I've noticed the second subject dropping off, whether it's media or literature, dropping off the curriculum for a lot of students who could have done that, and it would have raised their grades. Same with media, it would raise the grade of English language, because there's a further experience and a deeper understanding of one specific field.
This is from the very end of the novel, when George has just shot Lenny. Where did he shoot him?
In the back of the head.
In the back of the head. I want you to give me at least an A-grade answer to that question. Comment on Steinbeck's use of language to show character in his essay. What does John Steinbeck do in this bit? He shows the character of the three speakers. He never does it by saying Slim was an emotionally upright man who everybody trusted. He never says that. What he does say is, a guy got to sometimes. And Steinbeck allows you to do the work.
It's the morning of the English literature exam for 22 students.
Right, have you got 6 foundation and 16 higher?
I just wanted to ask you about English.
Yeah, I'm listening.
You know, only the top set do English literature.
At present, well, everybody gets an A to C at the end of year 10 or early in year 11, goes on then to do literature.
And why did you make that? Whose decision was that?
Everybody's. Head of English, deputy head responsible and head teacher. Because actually what matters is English. That's the grade. Nobody got onto a level 3 course without English at A to C. English literature means nothing.
Stealing.
You see, I knew it did.
The laboratory. Yeah, look.
Yeah, the man he killed
Man
on my
he
first
killed
son,
on my first
Salome.
son.
Salome.
Has Salome come up?
Yeah. Hitcher and November. I quite like November, although it's depressing. It's about death.
But do you think it was a mistake?
No, not at all. It's absolutely the right thing to do. Concentrate on getting English, because it's more coursework. Plus, of course, the kids have got many of them now have got to get functional skills in English here, because they're taking diploma programmes, and that's supported more by English than English literature.
But some people think that the enjoyment of sort of studying stories and studying literature feeds into the kind of richness that the pupils experience and understand.
Typical middle-class liberal view, isn't it?
And therefore they come out with better English grades, that it doesn't detract from it.
No evidence to prove that.
Do you know, this is what I did in the holiday. Wow, that's the question I did in the holiday, with those 6 that turned up.
That's a gift, that one. Look,
So is this
25
one.
A and B.
But I compared Havisham with Laboratory and said they're both about mad women hated.
Yeah, look, compare head writers' feelings of pleasure, whereas that's feelings of hatred.
Yeah.
I mean...
You're changing it next year.
No, we'll carry on. If the child's capable of getting an A to C in English, then they get an opportunity to take to English literature. If they don't, they don't. Nothing stops them reading plenty of books. It's a nonsense. They can study plenty of literature in English lessons as a context for learning English. The only difference is they don't have to produce English literature coursework. Are you an arts graduate?
No.
You're lying now just to defeat the CC film, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm humanities.
Oh, okay, I rest my case. Arts.